Good evening and welcome to the Artist Showcase. I'm your host, Tanya Michelle. Tonight I have a special guest. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for me to introduce him to you. He is all the way from California. He's going to be joining us shortly. Nick Smith. Yes, Nick Smith. He is a pianist and composer. He's been around for a very long time. And I know you've known him. You've worked with many artists. And we're going to get to know him a little bit, what he's been doing. Uh, we're going to dig into his journey, being an independent artist, and all kind of sorts of things, right? We also, of course, is going to listen to some music. I'm going to play a few of his songs from his CD Romance. Yes, we're going to do that. You're going to love it. We're also going to talk about the difference between smooth jazz and then the I don't know how I want to say it, maybe the back in the day jazz, right? How jazz has changed, and you know, um, why it's changed, throughout the years. Is that we're trying to get more younger listeners, or what is it, right? So we're going to kind of dig into that a little bit, kind of dig into his background. So we're going to get started very shortly. But first, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Artist Showcase. We're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and other social media platforms. Please be sure that you like, follow, share, and comment, and subscribe. So again, thank you for tuning in and watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Yes. Before we get started, I want to get some announcements out the way. We got a lot of events that's coming up. The WJZZ Legacy Jazz Series. That's a premier showcase for globally recognized and emerging artists. Yes. That is going to be Thursday, July 13th from 7 to 9. We're going to have the Matt what is that? Lorizzo Trio, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Excuse me if I pronounced your name wrong. I do apologize. Matt Lorizzo Trio. So yeah, with special guest vocalist Taylor Smith. Yeah, so we're gonna have that. That's gonna be at the Aretha Jazz Cafe in Detroit. That's located on 350 Madison Street in Detroit. You don't want to miss it. Please go to WJZZ Detroit Jazz Radio Facebook page so you can go ahead and link. Can't even talk today, right? Click on that link over there for Eventbrite so that you can go ahead and get your tickets. This will sell out very quickly, so you may want to go ahead, jump on right now and get your tickets. That is the WJZZ Legacy Jazz Series. That's going to be Thursday, July 13th from 7 to 9. Matt Lorizzo Trio with special guest vocalist Taylor Smith. And that's going to be at the Aretha Franklin or Aretha Jazz Cafe right there on 350 Madison in downtown Detroit. Yes. And one more announcement before we get started. Pride Day, June 24th. That is, I believe, tomorrow. Yeah, that is tomorrow. That's going to be at the Recovery Park, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be food trucks out there, music, arts, and gallery, and some entertainment, right? Some local entertainment. So you don't want to miss that. That's Recovery Park. Farm Days Detroit, I believe, is sponsoring that as well. Again, that's tomorrow, June 24th, 5470 Shane Street in Detroit. So be sure you come out and support Pride Day. That is tomorrow. If you want to call in, be sure that you call in at 313. What is that? 355-6018. Call in with any questions, or you can click on the comments on WJZZ Cool TV on the Facebook page. I am live. You can always comment, show me any questions, text me any questions that you want me to ask my guest or ask myself, and I'll be sure to answer your questions for you. Wow. We're still kind of waiting on Nick Smith a little bit, so he should be joining us very soon. Let me see. While we're doing that, I am going to play one of his songs. Let's play one of my favorites. This is off of his CD, Romance. This is called 1999. If you know the song by Prince, 1999, he kind of went in and made it his own. So we're going to listen to that a little bit as we try to get Nick Smith onto the air for us. So this is Nick Smith. This is 1999. Yep, that was 1999 by Nick Smith. Yes, yes, yes. I do see Nick is connected. We're just trying to get him on my end so that I can see him and I can hear him. So just a little technical difficulty. So we're gonna get it straightened out in just a few minutes and bring on Nick Smith. Yes, yes, yes. Again, we just played one of his songs from his Romance CD, 1999. That's that Prince Remix. I love that. I love that. I love it. One of my favorites. One of my favorites. One of those songs that his whole entire CD you'll love. You can just cruise in your car or sit at home with a glass of wine, right? And kind of shoot the breeze and listen to Nick Smith and the whole entire CD, Romance, and that's one of my favorites. Like I said, that's 1999. Technical difficulties right now, so we'll bring on Nick Smith in just a few moments. Just a few moments. He is connected. We're just trying to get him connected on my end so that you all can see Nick Smith and I'm able to hear him. So we'll get him on in just a few minutes. If you could just hang on, Nick, if you're there, hang on just a few more seconds or so. We're definitely going to get you on. But I am going to play another song. Another song. Let's do this one really quick while we try to both connect. This is Slammin', and this is also off of the Romance CD. Again, this is Romance by Nick Smith. That was, yes, 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 yes. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Slammin', yeah, by Nick Smith. By Nick Smith. Yes, yes, yes. Still, we have technical difficulties. We're going to have Nick call in for us.
Yes, I'm
Uh,
here. I don't know why the picture is dark. It was up for a second. Now we're getting a delay.
okay, yep, I hear you now.
Is this something I need to click on?
No, I think we're not going to use the link. I think we're just going to go ahead and just go through a phone call.
Okay,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, good, 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 good. I'm sorry, Nick, for everything. We do apologize, but we finally got you here. I'm just gonna turn my end up a little bit because I can't hear. Okay, all right. Again, everyone, this is Nick Smith. He's calling in all the way from LA, and again, we are sorry for the delay or the technical difficulties. But we're here and he's here. We're all here. And I'm so excited to have Nick as my special guest. Nick, welcome to the Artist Showcase.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes, yes. So let everyone know I played a couple of your songs. I just played 1999, which is one of my favorites. And I played Slammin' as well off of your romance CD. But let everyone know who is Nick Smith?
From a family of 10, excuse me, and I started private lessons for music at the age of 5. But my first introduction to jazz was when my dad took me to go see Duke Ellington.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So you come from a Donda, did you come from a musical family?
Yes, my father, he played trumpet and he played the upright bass. But because there was so many of us,
Hmm.
he had to get a steady job to keep some stable income coming in.
Okay. All right. All right. The CD Romance. Wow. Now, what influenced you to do that CD? You have some really, really great music on there. Every single song is I love them all. But what made you
Hey,
what influenced you to go ahead and put out that CD Romance?
well, my first two projects that I did were straight ahead projects. The first one was entitled "Is Like That,"
Mm-hmm.
and fortunate enough to have some great musicians record with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the musical part is not an issue. It's the promoting and marketing and the business
Ah.
because you can have great music, but if you don't have the right people promoting and pushing you, it actually means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So what I decided to do, I said, okay, let me try a little different approach and try some music that's a little more commercial, contemporary, a little more friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't necessarily like to use that term smooth jazz
Yeah.
because, when I was growing up listening to contemporary music, artists had their own different sound. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Roy Ayers didn't sound like Milt Jackson.
Right.
Grover didn't sound like Ronnie.
Right.
Now, when you listen to these people today, everybody almost sounds. Each other. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Yep. I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to stop this delay because when I speak, my voice is giving like an echo.
Oh, okay. I can hear it a little bit. I can hear it a little bit. I'm still gonna try to turn my my volume up a little bit because I can barely hear. Awesome, awesome. I kind of touched on at the beginning of the show. I know I've interviewed you once before, and we got in a really deep conversation about the jazz. I always call it back in the day jazz for me because I grew up with jazz, but grew up with
Hmm.
like Miles Davis and things like that. But when I really started listening to jazz, it was the contemporary smooth jazz, like
Right.
the Najees and those type cats, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, what do you think is different now besides the sound? The difference in the way they do jazz now. Why do you think is more contemporary? Do you think that they're trying to reach a younger generation? Maybe.
Um, I feel as though, in my opinion, the business has changed,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, now that we don't have record companies, I would think artists would be more willing to, go ahead and express who they are
Mhm.
versus trying to fit into a certain format. See, when
Okay.
you were signed to a record deal, you had to do what they wanted you to do.
Mhm.
Now that a lot of artists are independent,
Mhm.
unfortunately, everyone is jumping on the bandwagon. Well, let me do this because it's going to make me a lot of money.
Mhm.
Well, everybody wishes to get paid, but don't let the money control your creativity. That's what I feel, in my opinion.
Right.
Now,
Right. I agree with
I,
that.
I think as far as the younger musicians go, they sort of have an advantage because all we had was radio. Now they have YouTube. Not only can they hear the music, they can see it.
Oh
See,
yeah.
when I was listening to records by Herbie Hancock, I had to put my ear to the speaker and
Mhm.
pray when I lift that arm, I didn't scratch the record.
Right.
Now, with today's technology, you can slow down the audio, you can stop it on the dime and repeat it. We didn't have that luxury because think about when we had 8-track tapes. You had to
Mhm.
almost listen to the whole tape before you got back to that song you wanted to hear again,
That's
unless you
true.
knew what.
That that's true. That's true. So
And
so
that,
now where would you put your music? What genre of music would you put that? Because it to me it sounds because you play I hear a little of from jazz back in the day, but then I hear a little bit of contemporary. Would you put your music in your jazz and smooth jazz?
well, I would put mine in a contemporary category versus smooth jazz because
Hmm.
a lot of the smooth jazz we hear today is
Oh, I think I got you on pause. Now I can hear you.
versus smooth jazz because to me the smooth jazz I'm hearing too many instrumental R&B songs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
I mean it's easy to play a song by Marvin Gaye or Stevie Wonder,
Mhm.
but let's be for real. Them guys got awards and Grammys for R&B, soul, or pop rock. They didn't get no jazz awards. Not saying they can't perform jazz, but they did what worked for them.
Yeah.
Now, if you take a song like We'll Use 1999,
Mhm.
I'm not Prince recorded that tune back in the 80s.
Right.
Okay,
Mhm. Right.
so I said, why not do something different to that song? I like it, so I
Mhm.
decided to put more of a jazz fusion feel on it.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, people they recognize the melody, but I've been fortunate and blessed to hear from many people who worked with Prince who said to me, "Man, he would have loved that because you
Mhm.
you took the song to another level."
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and
That is so true.
that's what should be done. That way, that shows who's Nick Smith versus Nick Smith trying to sound like Prince.
Right. Exactly. 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 I agree with you on that. Totally agree. Totally agree. I'm going to play another song off of your romance
Hmm.
CD. You know what? Let me pick one. You know, I like Feeling Smooth.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Feeling Smooth, and then I'm gonna go into romance too, the
Okay.
self-titled. So let's do Feeling Smooth. This is Feeling Smooth, everybody, from Nick Smith. Feeling Smooth, Feeling Smooth. I love it, love it. So Nick, now how did Feeling Smooth come about? What made you do that song?
Well, excuse me. Sorry about that. One of my one Joe Sample, I really liked him. He
Mm-hmm.
was definitely one of my influences, as well as the more traditional guys like McCoy, Herbie, Thelonious Monk, and people of that nature. Joe had a he just had another style, and it you know I gravitated to it.
Oh yeah.
And when I was composing "Feeling Smooth," I was thinking about it because I know Joe and Marcus Miller did some work together, and I really liked that record "Spellbound."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I like to write something similar to that. And it
Right.
made me feel good because Marcus heard me play that tune at a NAM show, and he
Mm-hmm.
walked up to me and he said, "That sounds like something I would have wrote." I told him,
Right.
"Well, record it."
I love that. I love it. I miss Joe Sample. I like that.
Thank
I
you,
miss him.
thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. The word legendary, we hear that a lot, especially, when it comes to jazz. What does that mean to you in this industry?
When you say legendary,
Mm-hmm. Like for
uh,
like for an artist, we just hear it so much, and it to me is it's not how people if people passes away or anything that or we say they're legendary. But what does that mean? What does that word, I guess, means to you when it comes to jazz in this industry?
well, when they refer to someone as being legendary, to me, that's someone who's done something that's never been done before, and
Mm-hmm.
they've taken the music to another level.
Mm-hmm.
For example, someone like a Miles Davis and Wayne Shorter, they definitely deserve to be put into that category because Miles changed the music 6 times.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Shorter, he has composed different music for various people, other than, well, let's say, okay, he wrote for Miles Davis.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
example, tunes like Nefertiti and Footprints.
Right.
Then from Miles, he wrote a lot of tunes with Weather Report.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
and for Miles and Weather Report, he wrote a lot of tunes for the Messengers.
Mhm.
So to go from those different variations, his music is, how can I describe it other than it just being great?
Yeah. It.
That's legendary
Yeah. Yes, it is.
because to be able to switch gears like that, many artists and musicians can't do that because once
Right.
you hear them, you just hear them in one way.
Mhm.
But with
Mhm.
Wayne, you hear Wayne, but you hear him in various ways. And to me, that's what they mean. That means legendary to me.
Right. Yeah. I definitely agree. Definitely agree.
Hmm.
When did you start playing the piano? When was the? Do you remember that moment when you say, you know what, this is what I want to do? Because you have an
Well,
interesting story, and I don't know if you might have told it right before when we air. I couldn't hear anything, but you got to tell that story because it's about when your mom uh, noticed that you can play the piano. You got to tell that story.
well, my mother, she said she discovered I could play the piano when I was 2 years old.
Mhm.
She thought it was one of my brothers
Mhm.
messing with the piano. She was doing some laundry, if I'm correct. And one of my brothers was outside playing, and my other brother was in the house. And she asked, "Who's messing with the piano?" And he told her, "That's Nick." So she said, "He's not even tall enough to reach the pedals. How is he playing that piano?" So
Yeah.
he came out of her bedroom, and she looked at me, and everything she had in her hand, she just dropped it. She was like, "Oh my God, who showed you how to do that?" And I just looked at her and I smiled. I said, "Nobody." So when my father came home from work, uh, she immediately brought him in and said, "You gotta watch what your son can do." And he was amazed. She was amazed, and they started me in music lessons when I was about 6 years old.
Wow. Wow. And it just took off from there.
It just took off from there. And the beauty about my mother's house, so many musicians was coming in and out who could play,
Mhm.
and I just gravitated towards that. And I remember my folks telling me I would watch and listen to what everyone would play, and I'd sit down at the piano and I'd play it. I play exactly what they just got through playing.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
how I did that, I don't know.
Right.
And my dad would say, "How does he hold all that music in his little head?"
Not a little head. Right.
Right.
But that's amazing though. I mean, 2 years old and
Yeah.
just set up the piano and just start playing.
Mhm.
Wow. Now
Yes.
do you play by ear?
I played by ear for many years, and then I started studying music because I made up in my mind I didn't want to be a self-taught musician
Mhm.
and not know what I'm doing.
All
And
right.
and that's sort of like my complaint with technology today,
Mhm.
because technology enables musicians today to do too much,
Yeah.
and they don't have an understanding of how they're using the technology. Now, my CD Romance that you have on that song 1999, that's me playing all the instrumentation.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
Now,
wow.
I'm using what's called virtual plugins because
Okay.
the songs today are incredible.
Mm.
And what I try to explain to students who I teach,
Mhm.
don't let the technology control you. You're supposed to control the technology.
Mm.
Okay?
Right.
I mean, how many people do we know? You ask them for their phone number, they got to look up their own number.
Right. Right. Right.
And see, and what I'm seeing promoted on Facebook, I don't like seeing this advertisement for MIDI software that's got all these chords in it, but these guys don't know the meaning of what the chords are and how to use them.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so that's like taking your car to a mechanic and he don't know the components of a car. Now I
Exactly.
understand music lessons may be a little expensive, but the money invested into that software, there's software out here that would help teach you and better understand what you're doing. Because
Mhm.
believe me, You know, back in the day when it came to great singers like Marvin Gaye, Aretha, and all of them, they didn't have no auto tune. They had to
Right.
know how to play and sing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I always ask these guys, what would you do if your software crashed or you lost electricity? Okay,
Right.
see, I can grab some manuscript paper and write it with my hand
Mhm. Mhm.
because
Right.
if one of them guys hired me to do a session with them, if they can't explain to me what they want,
Mhm.
I can't help them. Then
Right.
they're going to be frustrated. You know,
Right.
it's
Mhm.
like two people speaking two different languages.
Exactly.
If I can't
Exactly.
speak French and you speaking French to me, I don't know what you're saying.
Right.
Now, musically, if you telling me play Don, Don, what is Don? I don't know
Yeah.
what Don is. So,
Right. Right.
you
You.
know, I was given a music lesson one time, and I was at the studio,
Mhm.
and this one guy, he had all the latest equipment, which was great. So he asked me, well, hey, can I get you to play on the track? I said, sure, no problem.
Right.
So what he do? He plays on his keyboard, and it was just this sound. So I looked at him. I said, okay, what do you want me to do with that? Well, can you come up with something? I asked him, okay, what do you want? A ballad, a medium feel?
Mhm.
What's the concept of the song?
Mhm.
So basically, to put it in a nutshell, no direction. And
Wow.
that's how these so-called producers are writing today. And if
Yeah.
you listen to the music, it's very romantic. I mean, robotic. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, and I hate to say it's drone. It's just one fill.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you don't hear no bridge. You don't hear no key change. And I'm like, okay, what is the song? What's it about? What's the theme?
Yeah. Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
lyrics, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about the lyrics because it is so explicit today and negative.
Yeah, it is. Yes. So yeah, so much different from back in when I was listening to Motown. You can really listen to when you
Right.
listen to the words, it has meaning to it. It's nothing really sexual, and if it was, they went
Right.
around it in some way. But
And
yeah, that's how music is changing. Yeah, music is just changing just all over, and the way that people write too. Not knocking them, but it's just the change of time, you know?
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's sad. It's bad enough some of these guys wrote tunes that was, you know, very disrespectful towards women. Now these
Hmm.
young female artists is doing the same thing and it's worse.
Yeah. 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 And I think, I have to blame that too on, I guess kind of not knowing the business too, because when they look at it, and I talk about this with a lot of the artists, that come here, they look at if I half dress, if I say certain things, in a song, I will get attention, I'll sell records, and
Right.
so they look at the glitz and glamour of it. But you got to know the business side of it too. And that's,
That's right.
eventually, they're going to look at you and be like, when you're older, and,
Very true.
yeah, and it's not going to work for you. That's only going to go but so far, right? For
That's
so many years, as long as that particular type of music or your brand is out, is only a short time, you
Well,
know?
I always tell people you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you think about it, because see, what they don't want you if you experience and you know. They
Yeah.
want someone who don't know so they can take advantage of them.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, these young kids only see one side of the coin.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
like I mentioned earlier, the musical part you can do that all day, but
Yeah.
it's the business part of it that's very important.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Because what are you representing? How do you want to be seen?
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And I explain to these young female singers, look, cover up.
Yeah.
This music. You're not working at a
Mhm.
club revealing your assets.
Yeah.
Because if that's the way you present yourself, that's how you're going to be perceived.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm seeing a lot of I've been seeing a lot of younger our younger generation kind of taking notice of jazz and appreciating jazz. I see
Right.
a lot of the young ladies now are taking a violin and making music and piano. We have a young man here I'm going to have on the show soon. Um, Gosh, you would have thought he was playing the piano for like years,
Okay.
playing for years. But it makes you it tells me that he's been listening to from pianists from back in the day and things like that, and really appreciate jazz a lot. Nick, I'm going to
Yeah.
have to, you know what? We got so much to talk about. And because, we have some technical difficulties, we have someone coming on in in another minute or so. I'm definitely going to have you back on the show. If you let me.
Okay.
And we're going to do, I'm going to, yeah, we're actually going to do a video and we're going to show it back to you all on WJZZ Cool TV on the Artist Showcase. Thank you so much, Nick, for coming. Where can they find your music on social media?
Oh, okay. They can find my music on Spotify, I believe, Pandora,
Mm-hmm.
iTunes.
Okay.
Um, I'm trying to. I'm okay. I want to set it up where you can get it directly from me off my website.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now, if people want to reach out to me, I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook.
And that's under Nick Smith. Now that's with a K, everyone, with a K.
Right. Right.
Yes.
My Instagram is Nick Smith Music, and my Facebook page. I have two pages. One with just my regular spelling,
Okay.
Nick Smith,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have another one, Knick Smith, and you'll see a picture of me sitting at the piano.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. Make sure that you go to his website. I'm sure he's got a couple of shows I think believe that's coming up
Oh
really
yes,
soon.
yeah. Let me mention that. Yeah,
Okay.
so, all of you out there, if you have friends in Richmond, Virginia, and Baltimore, I'm very happy to announce I'm going to be performing at the Tin Pan August 8th, and on August 9th, I'm playing at the Keystone Corner. And I'm going to have a killer band with me. I'm honored and blessed to say that I'm going to have the amazing Dennis Chambers playing drums with me.
Oh,
On bass,
wow.
Kenny Davis. Kenny and I used to be former members of the Tonight Show band. On Jay Leno. I'm going to have Jeff Robertson, the gentleman who sang 1999. He's singing. Two wonderful horn players, Mr. Roger Byam, who's worked with Marcus, Eddie Allen, and my business partner, Landis Pierce. We call him Butch. He's going to be playing percussion. And by the way, Tanya told me to tell you hello.
Ah, tell him thank you. Yes, yes, yes. I had such a great conversation with him a couple of days ago. I
He
can't
told
wait to meet him, and hopefully I can get out there to Baltimore. He did tell me the
right.
date on that, so hopefully I can try to get out there for sure.
So,
Thank
so
you.
that's the 8th and 9th of August.
8th and 9th of August.
Yes.
8th and 9th of August. Awesome. Again, Nick, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to have you back really soon, sooner than you think. We'll discuss that. I'll call you and we'll discuss that with dates you're available. And we got definitely going to have you back on the show. We got to listen to some more music from Nick Smith. It's just not enough time, but I am going to have him on for a full hour. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Artist Showcase, and I will see you all next week.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Right now. Take care now.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.